Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you all for this week's video. Today, I'm going to show you how I make my cinematic videos for ArmA 3. Keep in mind, some of the tips I offer are transferable to other games, as cinematography is a very broad subject, but for this one, we're going to be using ArmA 3 as an example. I'm also going to be using Sony Vegas to edit and NVIDIA's Shadowplay to record, but you can use whichever softwares you prefer. Firstly, you want to brainstorm and gain inspiration. Find out what interests you visually. Do you have a passion for helicopters or tanks? Find out what really gets you excited and motivates you to film. For this video, as an example, we're going to imagine that I'm super excited about a particular terrain such as TOMMEH. On the screen now are some crappy pictures of my storyboards from cinematics over the course of my YouTube channel. These are allowed to be crappy because literally no one else sees them but you. They're meant to be quick sketches that really get your creative juices flowing. This is often a neglected part of cinematics, unfortunately, but you have to remind yourself how many more thousands of cinematics there are out there. What separates you from them is planning things out block by block, scene by scene, instead of just jumping straight into filming and throwing something together. The next part is finding the perfect song. You can use lots of good royalty-free music, but I personally go with any music that I like, and I just let the Content ID bot put adverts on my videos. This way, I get to have complete freedom to use whichever music I like. For example, I know for a fact that my Jets video wouldn't have been the video it came out as without this epic track from really slow motion. One other note I would mention with picking songs is to avoid anything too lyric heavy. Some lyrics are fine, but you want to strike a nice balance of music and visuals. Now you have a song, it's a good time to revisit your storyboard and add in any notes for areas where it could be synced up. Let's say the song has a heavy drum beat at a certain point. You can factor in different cuts to different scenes so everything flows better. Editing to music is hard if you're a beginner, but really it's a matter of patience. As another note about sound, I would also recommend experimenting with as many different sound effects as possible in your work. These are meant to be ambient background noises, such as radio comms, that enhance the overall immersion of your piece. For example, in my Molten video, I used the Modern Warfare 3 radio voices from YouTube to show action and really connect the viewer with a military atmosphere. Once you have your storyboard and music, drop the song into Vegas and make sure you have these basic ArmA 3 add-ons as a foundation. They can all be found on the workshop, and I'll also be linking them in a collection down below. You can tag on any extras you want depending on what you're filming, of course. Remember that the more time you take to find that perfect add-on, the better the result will be. See it as research that you might do for an essay. It adds that extra bit of polish. This is what makes rushed cinematics and refined cinematics easy to distinguish between. In terms of filming, you need to set up your first scene. This will take lots of trial and error, but finding an iconic or interesting area on the map is your best bet. Here, I've opted to use the long grassy fields on TOMMEH as my first location. Without getting pretentious, having the eye to distinguish between things that look beautiful and things that look generic and boring takes artistic merit. Don't worry if you're not an arty person, this can be cultivated and learnt, and we'll be talking about that later. With the filming, you want to make sure your scene is as vibrant and alive as possible. When we look at really good cinematics, such as the official ArmA 3 ones, there's lots of hidden attention to details. The human eye observes everything and passes it on to the subconscious. This means that nearly everything on screen is interpreted and processed by the brain in some way, even if it's only for a few seconds. Make each scene a labour of love. Learn to use the editor to breathe life into your scenes. Add some animals in the background for ambience, a nice time of day, and some suitable props. Imagine you're making the map again, almost reinventing it. A good example of this is in Frankie's excellent ArmA 3 DayZ video, where he visits a huge submarine fortress on TOMMEH, crafted entirely with the editor. This brings the viewer to an entirely new location, making us want to watch and engage with the story. Now we're into our scene, I'm going to tell you how to use the two top ArmA camera tools at your disposal. There are scripted cameras which you can set up if you have the know-how, but for now we're going to use GCAM and the Splendid camera. If your scene has action going on which requires capturing instantly, whilst you are an AI of your choosing, use the scroll wheel to activate GCAM. Press L to open the HUD and then lower the act time with the minus button until it reaches 0. This will freeze everything in the game so you can zoom around and pick your shot. Generally, GCAM is best for high speed moving shots. Let's say we're following a Xian coming in for a strafe. We can select it with the AI list here and then track it. Be creative with your angles, experiment, zoom with the mouse wheel, pan with WASD and change pitch with Q and Z. The mouse can also be useful for camera changes, so here I'm looking at the terrain. Then I pan across using just the mouse to focus on the Xian. If your scene is more of a beauty spectacle and requires a bit of slow motion, the Splendid camera is your best option. Open it through the in-game menu like so, and you'll be presented with a freeze frame camera of the game world. You can zoom with the number pad plus and minus, pan with WASD, look with the mouse, and if you hold the left mouse button, you can do a slower or faster pan. Keep in mind, most recording software captures the cursor, so you need to hide it at the bottom of the screen like so. Don't worry about fully hiding it, as we'll be adding cinematic black bars soon. Zoom, pan, and orbit to your heart's content. Get as many varied shots as possible. You'll be jumping back in the editor a lot here, tweaking things that didn't look right and restarting to re-trigger the AI. After you've filmed one scene, dump it all into your editing suite and piece it together chronologically. Cut out any random bits you don't need and do what I call the A list and the B list. The A list stuff are the clips that are really good and you want to use them, and the B list stuff are the scraps that might get used or binned. Put them in separate piles and see how they sync up to the music. This bit requires patience and it's something I can't really educate you on. To add the black bars, click Media Generator, then Solid Color. Add a white block to your timeline and extend it to the length of the song. Make the track layer multiply. Now crop the bars by holding Ctrl and dragging the arrows like so. Make it as much or as little as you like here. It's important to keep Vegas and ArmA open if your PC can handle it, just so you can chop up clips on the fly for one scene, then re-record any other shots you are missing or need to redo if they didn't turn out as well. In terms of scripting for your scenes, I would recommend starting off with learning how to use the editor engine first, and then progressing onto UnitCapture and UnitPlay. I'll be linking a video guide that I always return to for my cinematics, showing you how to do this. I don't want this video to be too long, and in case people already know how to do this, it will speed things up a bit for you guys watching. UnitPlay and UnitCapture are script functions built into ArmA that allow you to record yourself playing as an AI, such as a helicopter, and then replay it so you can get those beautiful cinematic shots of landing helicopters without relying on the derpy AI. Here's an example of the kind of bloopers I've experienced with the AI whilst filming. Finally, to address the artistic side of things, this really just takes creativity and passion. Imagine you're a kid in a sandbox again, and you've got all these tools to play with. Make it your mission to deliver something innovative and beautiful. Capture a part of the game that people might not have seen before. To learn this, one good way is to start by getting into the habit of taking regular screenshots. I've got 5,300 screenshots in my ArmA 3 folder, and they've all reflected both a memory and a learning experience on how to take good screenshots. You will learn over time how to capture the beauty of the games you are playing by being appreciative of your screenshot button. As a shout out, a great example of this is Titanico from the DayZ community. He takes all of his screenshots by just running around Chernobyl as he plays and lining up, cropping and editing any snaps from his travels. I'll also link his excellent Steam guide on how to take great screenshots down in the description. To conclude, cinematics are a hugely complex but fascinating topic to me. If you guys would like to see some more detailed tutorials about them, I could certainly put them together, so let me know. This video should hopefully provide you with a few helpful insights on how to create an effective piece of film in ArmA 3. Get out there and get creative. Don't forget to leave me a rating if you enjoyed this one. See you guys later. TOMMEH out.